just keep
it stills.
Yeah, still and video.
Hello India, Namaste. Geo Mami.
Please send. Yeah. Wait, sir.
ये सर एकदम मेरा ही फोटो आ रहा है
एक मिनट वीडियो ले लेते हैं तो स्टिल मत मार स्टिल बाद में दे दे
अकेले में मैं अच्छा लग रहा हूँ सोलो चाहिए जैसे हीरालाल पन्ना राम और लखन बुद्धू और बुद्धा पागल और पगला
सर
Hi, it's Raj and Pablo, and we are delighted. We are here for the 20th Geo Mami. Hindi mein aati hai?
Yes.
Raju.
And I'm Pablo. And we have been to a lot of the Geo Mami festivals. And what's wonderful about it is that you get to meet so many different people when you come here from all over the world. And then often people end up working with people they wouldn't even think they were going to work with. So I think the integration and what the festival over a week provides is invaluable.
You know, for us, we've only been coming for the past 4 years. It's 20 years. 20 साल हुआ है ये festival. और ये Mumbai का festival था. अब जब Anupma Chopra, Kiran Rao and Smriti, they have made it into such a big international thing. When we found out that this year, we got our tickets straight away, didn't we?
Yeah, it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience here at Mami.
One of the films you saw in, you've been attending for the last 4 years. What's something really good about this year?
I mean, we've over the time we've kind of, you know, there's been, so you get your big Bollywood films, Karan Johar, Anushka, Aishwarya Rai, that was a few years ago. This time around it's had a lot more of an international feel.
It's got even more bigger. You know, one of the films that is Leena Yadav's Rajma Chawal with Rishi Kapoorji. It is brilliant. And then Steve McQueen's Widows is closing the festival, which is a massive, he's an Oscar winner. It's like from small little films, and then there's a screening section. And what we do, we work for the BBC. We've got the Raj and Pablo show. We do Bollywood. But the people that are here, from kids from Himachal Pradesh, from Trivandrum, from Bengal, from Japan, from like Korea, America, and London.
And the appreciation for Hindi cinema. So you kind of go, oh, wow, you know this movie, or do you know this Bollywood star? And then it works totally the other way as well, where a lot of our own Bollywood stars have known a lot of international cinema that possibly they wouldn't talk about unless they were under the festival banner.
And you know, this year it was at the Gateway of India, you know, the India Gate. That was with the opening ceremony. We met Jaya Bachchan. She was there, and Mr. Shem Banigal. He's been honoured, and we have been big fans of him. To meet him was such a privilege, and that happened at Geo Mami.
You've been attending lots of बहुत सारे film festivals around the world. But अगर Mami film festival की बात करते हैं, तो what makes it very different from?
Well, Mami is kind of like a cut above the rest. We go to a lot of award ceremonies. We travel a lot, but with Mami, I think one, the international appeal, और दूसरा जो है वो जो culturally मिलता है. Sometimes you don't get to see films unless you hear about them at Mami. So you always leave, when you leave this festival, you know that you've actually learned something about cinema.
अब serious बातें छोड़ो, right? मेरी हिंदी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, और ये मामी के फिल्म है ना, छोटियां Indian films, वो international market पे जाती है. Is that all right? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, which is good. But serious films, fun films, but जो new generation आ रही है ना हिंदुस्तान से, वो अब international through Geo Mami होता है. I think.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
It is the biggest, largest film maker in the world, you can say, actually. There are lots of films, कौन से film देखी, very काफी youngsters आ रहे थे. How do you see the entire, like, you have been an experienced person from last so many years.
Well,
okay.
The entire Bollywood.
हमको तो हो गई, I think we've been in this for nearly 20 years. हमारी शो है BBC के लिए.
मैं 1 साल का था.
And we've seen कि सिनेमा, हिंदी सिनेमा कैसे बदला है right from the beginning.
You know, for us, हम विदेश is overseas, विदेश लंदन से है, and वहाँ हमारा शो बॉलीवुड का था. बॉलीवुड जैसे मिस्टर अमिताभ बच्चन के साथ इंटरव्यू किया, सभी के साथ किया, from Shashi Kapoor ji, Shashi Kapoor to Rishi Kapoor to everyone we know, Amitabh, Abhishek, Zenith the Man, Rekha, we've interviewed.
To answer that question, everybody has seen
Bollywood.
Actors jo hai, actresses jo hai, everyone has sensed how cinema is changing. If you just have to look at the hits that Ayushmann Khurrana has had recently, very different types of movies.
So Indian cinema is developing even more, and that's one of the things that we found at Mami as well. But for us, it's we are Bollywood. We love Bollywood. We love the singing, we love the dancing, we love the dishum, the drama. But that's now developed into such a bigger aspect.
And also, हम कभी बोर नहीं होते.
मैं तो इसके साथ बहुत बोर होता. Oh, पूछो मत.
We've interviewed, like Raj said, most of the stars, and they always have something new to offer, whether it's through the cinema, whether it's through the movies they're making, or whether they go through something personal. But there's always some new vision.
जब हम पहले शुरू किया था सब कुछ, हमारा BBC का शो था, we were in Macau, I think it was, for a film festival. And पहली बार हमें Mr. Amitabh Bachchan के साथ मिले. पहली बार, this is going back about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And उन्होंने हमें चिपका. ये Bollywood नहीं है, ये Hindi film industry है. Raj and Pablo, you must understand, it's about Indian film. And we remembered that, and that's what we love. It's Hindi cinema, Bengali cinema, South Indian cinema. It's so creative. And Mr. Bachchan always says, don't call it Bollywood.
We just recently saw you in a film called Namaste Engage.
Oh.
How did you get to do this? You had a cameo role actually. कुछ इसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे विपुल शाह आपको?
हाँ बस हम तो we were playing ourselves, or Vipul sir का phone आया, and then we said that they asked.
Okay, there's a story about that as well. When we पहली दफा हम आए थे Bombay, पहली बार, and Vipul Shah की film थी, what was that, with Amitabh Bachchan and Akshay Kumar? Vakt, that was the film. तो उन्होंने हमें उनके set पे बुलाया. तो वहाँ हमें Amitabh Bachchan, Vipul था. Since then we've liked Vipul Shah. Then he did all the Akshay Kumar films. And he goes, Raj and Pablo, मैं London में हूँ. You have to do my film.
And it was quite easy playing ourselves. So literally we were there playing ourselves in England.
हमारी
When जब भी कोई celebrity film stars UK जाते हैं, London जाते हैं, they always look forward to get interview done with you. They like your style. You have something.
Well,
how happy you are. You kind of a bridge between.
That's
India
what I
and
was going to
London.
say, really, for our international fans, and it's not just for the UK, there's Poland, we have listeners there, viewers there. They know that when we talk to the stars, it is a bridge. We connect with them, and then we take them out, so they can reach fans that they may have not known about.
People forget the power of Indian cinema, of Bollywood. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, I'm saying Bollywood. Bollywood, that's what people love. From Peru, from Bolivia, from South America to Japan. Om Shanti Om, Farah Khan, we've talked to Farah. She didn't even know Om Shanti Om is a Japanese musical at the moment. And what Amir has now done in China, from Jungle, Secret Superstar. And that's the kind of people that are getting in touch with our show. Because when we speak to Amir, we talk about his cat and about his films, about thugs. That's what they get. And so we just be ourselves.
I think that's probably what the key is a lot of it is we are just ourselves, but we have a huge interest in Hindi cinema.
And Bollywood.
Yeah.
I say Bollywood. But the thing is, when we started, the thing is, we are silly. We're stupid, we're silly. Well, I am anyway. But one thing is, we love Indian cinema from growing up. We're both from immigrant backgrounds in Britain, watching, like Mughal-e-Azam on the big screen, or Pakiza, or I'm in love with Zenith the Man from years, so hell Zenith. Yeah. Satyam Raj Kapoor films, that's what we grew up in, and that was our love for Indian cinema. Now it's become so worldwide, it's still getting bigger and bigger.
UK is a good market. You can say there are lots. It's a second home to lots of people actually. यहाँ पर भी actually पसंद करते हैं लंदन में वहाँ second home जैसा होता है. आपने इतने सालों में यूके को कैसे ग्रो करते हुए देखा है, स्पेशली इन बॉलीवुड फील्ड एक्चुअली?
जब हम शुरू हुए थे इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं था यूके में बॉलीवुड म्यूजिक के लिए, जब बॉलीवुड फिल्म्स के लिए हम चोरी चोरी देखते थे.
लोग हंसते थे, सब हंसते, तुम बॉलीवुड करते हैं, बॉलीवुड के तुम कैसे, बंगड़ा है, पॉप म्यूजिक है, ये है, पर बॉलीवुड अच्छा नहीं थी.
And what we did, we started DJing and we set up our own Bollywood night, a club night. So Pele we used to stay at home and listen to the Bollywood music there. Then we thought, let's take this out a bit, and we opened a club night. And then we saw that slowly people were growing, and we had like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people coming, and our Bollywood night just got bigger and bigger. Then we did a tour with our Bollywood night. Then we released a CD of our favorite Bollywood songs, actually 2 or 3 CDs. And then progressively, you could see the interest growing for Bollywood.
For us, for Bollywood and Indian film industry, Karan Johar, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, Kuch Kuch Hota, the NRI audience, and that's why our show developed. And then now it's become so global because of what's happening here. And that's why festivals like Jio Mami are so important as well.
Any memory like you must have lots of interviews, lots of stars, but ऐसे कोई interview जो आपको याद हो, and which is
I can tell you one memory.
Pablo बहुत उदास है, रो रहा है, इसका दिल टूट रहा. इसने प्रियंका चोपड़ा का टूथब्रश स्टील किया था, उसको शादी से भी. You did propose to her.
When Fashion came out, Priyanka invited us over to her house, so we interviewed her. And I said, Priyanka, I'm such a big fan. And I was like, please let me take something. So I went for a little walk, and I thought, would it be really rude if I took her toothbrush? So and clearly she heard me talking to myself because I was so overwhelmed, and she was like, listen, let me give you something else. You really don't want to take my toothbrush. I've never forgotten that. And the other moment I've never forgotten, and Rekha ji never does a lot of interviews.
Rekha ji, yeah.
But we've kind of heard her voice here and there. It's one big interview we really want to do. And we bumped into her on the street in London. We were in conversation, didn't know she was there.
We just had,
and literally she was standing in front of me.
He couldn't speak.
I couldn't speak, and I had a tear coming down my eye going,
And she looked at him, she went,
but that's another moment that hasn't left. But mostly, I mean, a lot of the stars that we interview,
they've become friends.
They've become really good friends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like catching up with a friend now.
But my biggest thing is like, is Abhishek. Abhishek says like, we call her Jay Auntie, Jay Bachchan ji. She's got a picture in her office of me, Pablo, Abhishek, and Jay Auntie, and it was on Mother's Day. We all hooked up. And that picture, she got blown up, and it's in her office.
That's Abhishek told us that.
And so it's like, that was my biggest moment. And meeting Zenith the Man, of course.
Okay, I think we got time for one more question.
I think at any point of view, you do different shows, you have your own shows also. At any point of time, do you think of making a film or directing a film or producing a film? कुछ ऐसे plans हैं आपके?
Namaste Bollywood. After Namaste London, Namaste Bollywood.
They plan to have, but we want to do it right. So
offers to aa rahi hai.
Well, offers to act, but what we are doing is, when we get a bit of time, we want to be good at it. So थोड़ी directing की classes कर रहे हैं, थोड़ी हिंदी भी अच्छी हो जाए.
मेरी हिंदी बहुत.
Yeah.
English.
So just what art hai, we know we love Hindi cinema, but we just want to know that when you're on the other side of the camera, how it really works. So we're giving ourselves to kind of train a bit.
For us, we still pinch each other. It's like, wow, I'm here. It's amazing. It's like little kids whose dreams have come true, and you guys are just wonderful. It's just like amazing. I just feel,
One last question. How do you always feel when you visit India? What is the kind of feeling like you get every time?
We love India. Adore it. My parents have a place in Delhi, so I go there a lot. So, I mean, I love Delhi and I love Mumbai and I love traveling around India. So it's home from home. I don't feel any different, and the culture is amazing. Everyone's very friendly. If I could, I'd live here.
What was it Raj Kapoor ji said? Mera juta hai Japani, magar dil hai Hindustani. There.
One last message to the Indian audience, overall audience. Actually,
It's Raj and Pablo and say something. I don't know what to say.
Can we just
trying.
take that again?
Right, okay. Okay. It's Raj and Pablo, and all we have to say is...
Thank you for being such a wonderful, wonderful audience for our industry, the Hindi cinema and the international industry of movies. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. So all our love to you.
And remember, get in touch with your famous, most favourite Bollywood star through our show, Raj and Pablo.